Hi there, I'm Jason, and you're watching
Jason! 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 Jason!
What is the product when you cube the binomial 2a plus 1? Is it letter A, 8a cubed plus 6a squared plus 6a plus 1? Or letter B, 8a cubed plus 6a squared plus 6a plus 3? Or letter C, 8a cubed plus 12a squared plus 6a plus 1? Or letter D, 8a cubed plus 12a squared plus 6a plus 3? What is your answer? So in order for you to answer this particular question directly, all you just have to do is to understand and familiarize the pattern of this particular special product about the cube of binomial. So this is how the pattern goes. So for example, if you are going to cube a binomial a plus b, then the answer would be just the first term of the answer is just the cube of the first term plus plus mani 3 times the square of the first term times b. So manang 3a squared b, and then plus 3 times the product of the first term and the square of the second term mo ng 3ab squared, and then plus the cube of the second term. So the second term is b, so its cube would be b cube. So this is just the pattern. Mo na siya pattern which you need to familiarize in order for you to answer such question directly. So what if this is subtraction? What if minus ni? So if that is subtraction, so a, quantity a minus b cube, then the answer would just be similar. Another pagkapariha. So you just, ang first term of the answer is just the cube of the first term of this binomial minus mani, so minus ang second term, minus thrice the product of the square of the first term times the second term. So muna a squared b, and then plus thrice the product of the first term and the square of the second term. So ang second term na pigi square, and then minus the cube of the second term. The second term is b man, and then cube, that's b cube. So these are just the patterns which you need to familiarize again to solve such question directly. So mentally, you could actually solve that question mentally lang. So that's a good thing because it will somehow save your time, especially if you're gonna take an exam. So for you to understand these patterns, let me show you this example. So for example, you are going to cube the binomial a plus 2. So again, asa man ni plus man ni, so this is the pattern that we are going to follow. So unsa to ang pattern? Ang answer daw is cube the first term. So a magyapon na, so we are going to cube that. So a cube, and then plus man na, so plus ni sila tanan. So plus 3, so si 3 is constant. So dili na dyan na mautro si 3. 3 na dyan na ibutang ana. And then ang mautlo lang is the first term and the second term because this vary according to the given, according to what the teacher will be providing you. So mag-change ning kaning silang duha kani, the first term and the second term, but kaning 3 ani 3 constant na jud na siya. So and then sa may giingon, just square the first term. So a is the first term, so let's gonna square it, and then we multiply it by 2, the second term. So this is the second term man. So again, mo man ang pattern 3, and then square of the first term times the second term. So the second term is 2, and then plus thrice gihapon the first term, which is a, and then square of the second term. So the second term is 2, so we're gonna square it. So that's 2 squared, and then plus the cube of the second term. So the second term is 2, so we're gonna cube it. And then let's simplify. So a cube, that's still a cube. And then plus, nahimo na diyang 6a squared y. So 3 times a squared, so a squared, that's a squared. And then times 3, 3a squared. And then times 2, 6a squared. So that's the reason why it becomes 6a squared. And then plus, so 3 times a, 3a, times 2 squared, 2 squared is 4, right? And then times 3a, so that's 12a. And then plus 2 cubed, that's 8. So therefore, this is now the answer for this particular given. So the quantity of a plus 2 cubed. So the answer is a cubed plus 6a squared plus 12a plus 8. So ingan ana siya ka dalian kasayon as long as you have familiarized these patterns. So let's go back to the question of the day. Let's try this now. So 2a, quantity 2a plus 1 cube. So again, ang pattern is just square the first term. So the first term is 2a man, so we're gonna square it. So plus man is, so plus na ng ilang mga signs anak tanan. So plus 3 times the product of the square of the first term and the second term. So this is the first term, right? So we're gonna square that, and then times the times the second term, which is 1, and then plus thrice the product of the first term and then the square of the second term. So ang second term na pa is square, and then plus the cube of the second term. So 1 cube. And then we're going to simplify this further. So quantity 2a cube, that's gonna be 2 cube, that's 8a cube, that's 3. So that's gonna be 8a cube. And then plus 2a squared, that's 4a squared, right? Times 3, that's 12a squared, times 1, so that's 12a squared. And then plus 3 times 2a, that's 6a, times 1 squared, so 1 squared is just 1. So 6a times 1, 3 times 2a, 6a times 1, that's 6a. And then plus the cube of 1. So the cube of 1 is just 1. So therefore, this is now our answer for this particular question of the day. So 8a cubed plus 12a squared plus 6a plus 1. So diba, dali na siya. You do not need to use the FOIL method in answering this question, because FOIL method, although it's also applicable in answering such question, but it takes time. So it takes time for you to answer such question if you're gonna use the FOIL method. Unless kung mugamit ka ani, if you're gonna use this, then it would be easier and quicker for you to answer such questions. So therefore, going back to the question, our answer is letter C. So 8a cubed plus 12a squared plus 6a plus 1. So you just, dali na siya ansiran. You could actually answer this quickly and directly if you have mastered or at least familiarized the given patterns. So let's try more examples. What about this? Let's try to cube the binomial 3x minus 4. So this time, instead of addition, so minus na sad ni. So asa man atong gamiton nga pattern? So we're going to use this pattern kay minus naman ni. So again, the first thing that we need to do in answering this is to cube the first term. So quantity 3x cube, and then minus man ni. So let's follow sa angkuan. What if i++ na to? Let's just try. Let me show you nganong ma-minus ni sila. So let's use plus. So plus 3 times the square of the first term. So 3x, quantity 3x squared, that's this one, and then times the second term, which is negative form. So mao man ni ang pattern, right? And then so plus ang ibutang nani, because I'm gonna show you nganong ma-minus ni siya as well as this if the sign of this binomial is subtraction. And then plus 3, 3, and then the first term, so 3x times the square of the second term. So the second term is negative 4, and then we're going to square that, and then plus the cube of the second term. So the second term is negative 4, so it's gonna cube that, so negative 4 cube. And then we're going to simplify this further. So quantity 3x cubed, that's 27x cubed. Why? Because that's not gonna be 3 times 3, but 3 cubed. So 3 cubed, that means 3 times 3 times 3. So we're gonna multiply 3 by itself 3 times. So manang 3 cubed. So 3 cubed, that's 27. And then x cubed, that's x cubed. And then we're going to simplify this. So quantity 3x squared, that's 9x squared. Times 3, that's 27x squared. Times negative 4 pa man. Na may times negative 4. So positive times negative. So positive times negative. So mo ani 3 times 3x squared times negative 4. Okay, mo ni siya. Mo man 3x squared. So mo ni siya man. Himong 9x squared. So ato sa siyang step by step. And then plus 3x times negative 4 squared, so that's positive 16, because negative times negative is positive. And then plus negative 4 cubed, that's negative 64. And then you are going to simplify this further. So this becomes 1 copy na lang ni 27x cubed. So muna ni yung giingon. So 3 times 9x squared, that's 27x squared. Times negative 4, so positive times negative, that's negative 108x squared. Ganun na negative 108 man ni, because 3 times 9, 27 times negative 4, so negative 108, copy the variable or the literal coefficient x squared. And then plus 3 times 3x, that's 9x, times 16, that's 144x. And then, so positive times negative. So, may mo na ning negative 64. And this is now our answer for this particular question or problem. So, ingana na dyan, all just have to do is just to really follow the pattern. So, let's try an example wherein dili na ta mo agi aning mga plus na kung minus siya mo ditso na ta ani. So, let's try that example. So, kani, this one. So, let's try 4m, quantity 4m minus 5n cube. So, we're going to cube this binomial. So, subtraction ang ilang sign ani. So, again, sa to ang pattern, you just have to square the, cube the first term. So, not square, cube. You have to cube the first term. So, cube the first term. The first term is 4m. So, we're gonna cube that. And then, minus man is, so minus na ng sign ani. And minus 3. So, copy na lang 3 times the square of the first term. So, 4m. Quantity 4m squared times the second term 5n. So, dili na natin ibutang ng negative. Nga naman, dili na negative 5 nga naman. We've already written the negative sign here man. So, ang minus na naman ari. So, palo na lang tadit so dani sa pattern. And then, plus ng tulong nga term. So, plus 3 times a. So, ang a na to ani is 4m. And then, b na to is 5n. So, we're gonna square that. So, quantity 5n squared. And then, minus the cube of the second term. So the second term is 5n, so we're gonna cube that. So quantity 5n cube. And then we're going to simplify this further. So 4m, quantity 4m cube, that's 64m cube, because 4 cube, that's 64, and then m cube, that's m cube. And then 4m, quantity 4m squared, so that's gonna be 16 mana, m squared times 3, that's 16 times 3, that's 48 m squared, and then times 5n, so that's gonna be 240 m squared n, and then plus, so 3 times 4, that's 12m, times 5n squared, so that's 25n squared, so 12m times 25, so that's gonna be, pila man, 12n times 25, that's gonna be 300 mn squared, 25n squared man, because 5, quantity 5n squared, that's 25n squared, and then minus the cube of 5n. So the cube of 5n is 125n cube. So 5 cube, that's not 5 times, dili na siya 5 times 3, but 125. So 5 times 5 times 5. So mo na ang 5 cube and then n cube. And then, mo na siya ang answer because dili na naman natin makombine, although pareha sila variables nga mn, but this one, square ang variable ni m, ang exponent. Ang exponent ni m ani is 2. That is 1. Pero this one, ang exponent ni n is 1 and that is 2. So, lahi sila og exponent. So, therefore, this is now the answer, the final answer for this particular question. So, diba, sayo na siya. All you just have to do is just to really practice familiarizing this pattern. So, you have to practice. You have to memorize this pattern as much as possible. You have to familiarize this and practice solving kanang mga exercises related to the cube of binomials. Alright? So this time, I want you to try this one. Try to find the product when you cube this binomial 6p plus 7q. And then you may comment your answer in the comment section below. That's all for now. Thank you, more power, and let's keep learning.